Today's sponsor is Southern New Hampshire University. So with Xbox's Game Pass ever-growing library and the open world games just getting bigger and more realistic, we have the best 25 open world games you can play. I'm Sonny, your host at Xbox Central, and we kick this off with Burnout Paradise Remastered. Now, the original Burnout has been a game that's been loved since its release due to its insanely fast-paced racing and aggressive driving tactics with an emphasis on epic stunts and insane crashes, and it always left us wanting a little bit more of this raw action, which Criterion did deliver after a decade in the form of Burnout Paradise Remastered. It took the classic Burnout Paradise game and it just cranked it all the way up with eye-popping graphics and lightning-fast performance. And it makes sense since the game already did everything right. But besides the improved graphics and performance, the remastered version also lets you download DLC content including classic rides, exciting events, and a ton of customization options. And to top it all off, the remastered version also includes online multiplayer, allowing players to compete against each other in heart-pumping races and online tournaments. And of course, the reason it's on this list, it's one of the few awesome open world racers with this high quality that is around. It's one of those games that definitely deserves a look, especially if you're into racers and you just love the open world dynamic. Now, if planet Earth is a little too small for an open world and exploration, you should definitely give No Man's Sky a shot. This action-adventure title from Hello Games features an infinitely vast world that is procedurally generated for you. This allows for a virtually unlimited number of completely unique experiences as players can visit new planets and encounter things that no one else has ever seen before. So exploration lovers are definitely going to have a lot to love and explore with this game. Now, No Man's Sky is definitely a standout from the rest of the open world games thanks to the creative minds behind the title. The game features many survival elements as players must manage their resources such as fuel and health, and in order to survive and thrive in the unknown universe, you're really going to have to pull out all the stops. There's quite a lot going in this game, but definitely a worthy title to put down on your list. And what I love the most about No Man's Sky is how the developers over the years have kept it updated, and it's been a great thing to see and a great inspiration, which is why today we are paying some bills and checking out today's sponsor. So as you guys know, games today are transforming into lifelike, ultra-realistic experiences, and getting into game development has never been more lucrative and rewarding. That's why today I'm happy to be sponsored by Southern New Hampshire University, one of the largest accredited nonprofit online degrees in the country, and talk about their game development program, where you're going to learn about how to make games in Unreal Engine, learn 3D modeling and texturing with game art software, as well as computer programming languages like C++ and Java. These are courses taught by teachers with real-world experiences, and you'll learn how to develop, research, and contribute to advances within gaming itself. Not only that, but SNHU is insanely affordable and features some of the lowest online tuition rates in the nation. Check my link below to see the annual salary for game development. And when you reach out for info, a real person calls you and talks to you about how the program can directly benefit you. Make sure you guys visit snhu.edu/Xbox Central or check the description in the video because, guys, you're literally one click away from changing your life forever. Now, I feel Watch Dogs is a pretty underrated game, and it's one of my all-time favorites in the genre. Developed by Ubisoft, this open-world action-adventure game takes you on a wild ride through the vibrant and tech-savvy city of San Francisco. You're going to play as Marcus Holloway, and you're going to team up with DedSec. They're a group of hackers that are bent on taking down the corrupt corporations, and they're all seeing CTOS 2.0 operating system. There's a good chance you've already played this game, but if you haven't, and you happen to have an active Game Pass subscription, I think this is the perfect time to try this out, especially if you're into hacking and technology, as this game lets you hack every single electronic device on the go to unlock an arsenal of cutting-edge weapons, gadgets, vehicles, and a lot more. Now, Batman Arkham Knight has long been the definition of action-packed open-world games with highly impactful melee combat that allows you to feel the full power of the Caped Crusader. Whether you're gliding through the air and you're delivering devastating combos in hand-to-hand combat, or you're just simply using your trusty gadgets to outsmart your enemies, you'll be really fully immersed in the experience of just being Batman himself. While combat does take the spotlight in this game, it's far from the only thing that makes Batman Arkham Knight stand out from the crowd. The game also offers a rich and super immersive open world environment set in the streets, of course, of notorious Gotham City, where you're going to spend most of your time fighting evil, saving the good, and of course uncovering the secrets of the past. This is a game that doesn't need an introduction. Far Cry's name precedes its reputation for a lot of good good reasons. This long-standing Ubisoft franchise has produced a number of highly acclaimed open-world action-adventure games that a lot of us have fallen deeply in love with, and Far Cry 5 is no exception. The game comes packed with everything that one could expect in an open-world FPS title. You have an arsenal of weapons at your disposal, you have a variety of vehicles and animal companions that will help you on your journey. You're gonna have everything you need to take down a pretty evil cult and restore hope to Hope County, no pun intended. Of course, Far Cry 5 features a strong narrative with a rich open world exploration that really promises to keep you hooked for a ton of hours. And if you're done exploring the dense wilderness and bustling cities or even space, it's time to venture off into the massive skies. And trust me, no game does it better than Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's the ultimate simulation game that offers players the chance to experience the thrill of flying in highly realistic virtual environments with accurate recreations of real-world airports and weather patterns, and of course aircrafts themselves, literally hundreds of them. Whether you've dreamed of becoming a pilot in your childhood or you're just looking for some quiet time in the liberating skies, I think this game's perfect for you. It has everything from real-time weather updates and stunning high-definition graphics, as well as satellite imagery that covers the entire planet. With the whole world to explore and a diverse range of aircraft to choose from, honestly expect to be hooked for tons of hours with this one. Assassin's Creed fans are in luck. Two of the most innovative entries to the AC series, Origins and Odyssey, are out for grabs, and while both titles are historically rich and detailed, I've decided to go with Odyssey for this list, as it really builds upon the already enticing story and gameplay of its predecessor. Set in ancient Greece, the game lets you explore a vast open world environment filled with diverse cities and temples and ruins that the players must navigate to uncover the secrets that lie within. Being an Assassin's Creed game though, Odyssey gives you the freedom to make your own choices and pave your own path in this journey with 3 intertwining storylines and a plethora of side quests. The game has received a ton of overwhelmingly positive reviews from both players and critics alike, and while it might not be the best Assassin's Creed game, I still think it's one of the better ones in the series and deserves a place on this list. An absolute blast from the past, Middle-earth: Shadow of War is the sequel to the popular Shadow of Mordor title. The game is widely loved though for its epic combat, stunning visuals, and captivating storyline, and it takes everything that's great about its predecessor and it just bumps it up to the next level, making things insanely addictive, especially for fans of the franchise like I am. The game features a combination of open world exploration, combat and stealth mechanics, as well as the return of the fan favorite Nemesis system, which is procedurally generated, and it gives you unique enemies with personal stories and motivations, and it even gives you unique rivalries that always leave you wanting to make sure you're the winner and they're dead at the end of your blade. It's one of my favorites on this list, and it's a must play if you're a Lord of the Rings fan. Immortals: Fenyx Rising is yet another action-packed adventure that puts you in the shoes of a fierce warrior tasked to save the gods from the evil Typhon, and the game features a large open world to explore. It's filled with puzzles, mythical creatures, gods, and a lot more, and players can use a variety of weapons and abilities such as the Sword of Achilles or the Wings of Daedalus to battle enemies and solve puzzles. And the game takes its inspiration from Greek mythology to create a unique world that really keeps you on your toes. Many of the game's mechanics really seem to come straight from the legendary Breath of the Wild. It even reminds me a little bit of MMORPGs like World of Warcraft in some of the boss fights. But Immortals: Fenyx Rising's really done a great job at creating its own very place in this vast ocean of open world games, and it definitely deserves a place on this list. So have you ever thought about just shrinking down to half the size of an ant just to see what it feels like? Well, the guys at Obsidian Entertainment did just that, and they decided to create a game around the concept called Grounded. The game puts you at the bottom of the food chain where even the ants feel like huge monsters, and the playground that used to seem too small for playdates now feels like a massive world full of unseen wonders. The game features elements of exploration, crafting, and combat as players gather resources and they build their bases while trying to survive in this very miniature world. And while you can play solo in this game and have tons of fun, it might even be better teaming up with friends in the co-op mode to really get an amazing experience. Now, there's no denying the fact that Minecraft still remains one of the best options when it comes to open world games. This sandbox survival title gives you all the freedom to do anything and everything you want with a vast blocky land at your disposal. Minecraft's creative and survival modes allows players to either build and create freely or face challenges such as hunger and hostile creatures. The game's open-ended nature and simple yet flexible mechanics have made it really popular among players of all ages. Now, I'm sure most of you have already played Minecraft, or at the very minimum, you've heard about this game, but if by some chance you haven't, this might be the perfect opportunity to jump into a legend of a franchise. Sea of Thieves is an action-packed adventure title where you assume the role of a pirate and you set sail across the open seas of the Caribbean. With a shared world filled with danger and opportunity, you're going to encounter other players and form pirate crews as you navigate the vast and deadly waters. The game already has a huge player base with many devoted people who love it, including myself, and you'll be taken to the high seas and be a force for good or evil depending on what you want to do. Now, the game really does let you decide who to trust and who to stab in the back with your dagger or shoot in the head with makeshift weapons. Sea of Thieves is just filled with opportunities that attract players from across the globe as they take on the high seas in search of treasure and excitement. It's a perfect game for players who love combat and exploration in a vast open world. We just can't have enough of the Need for Speed games, but if I were to pick the best one to play right now, Heat would definitely be somewhere on the top of that list. Set in fictional streets of Miami, Heat has you competing against other racers in both legal and illegal street races. And just like any other popular Need for Speed title, Heat lets you pick from a large and diverse collection of exotic rides, each with its own little performance tweaks and handling. This one is for players who love fast-paced, asphalt-burning races in a vast and stunningly gorgeous open world. Now, Like a Dragon is definitely my pick from the long-running and highly acclaimed Yakuza series. The game's really perfect for both new and returning players. It features everything that fans have grown to love about the series, from a compelling storyline to intense combat. You're really going to have your hands full with plenty of awesome stuff to do all the time. But besides the main quest, Like a Dragon also features really a wealth of side content, including minigames, side quests, and even sub-stories. Players can explore the vast city and interact with its colorful cast of characters, as well as engage in various activities such as even karaoke, darts, arcade games, and a lot more. It's a really fun and diverse game with tons of things to do, and one that absolutely deserves a place on this list. State of Decay 2 was like a dream come true for many zombie game lovers, as it's one of the only games to feature both zombies and an open world in a single game that's mostly meant for single player, though it does have an awesome co-op. It's a unique blend of survival, action, and strategy elements that many fans, including myself, have come to love over the years. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, State of Decay 2 has you scavenging for resources and building and managing a community of survivors and fending off hordes of zombies and even evil characters that you might come across in various missions. Unlike many other zombie games, State of Decay 2 has this level of unpredictability to it, where it leaves you guessing what would happen next. But the thing that I love the most about this game is its fast-paced combat and its sandbox nature, and the simple fact that there's really nothing like this game on the market. It's a unique zombie survival open world game, and it's one of my very favorites on this entire list. Our next game is Just Cause 4 Reloaded, and this is the improved version of the original Just Cause 4 title. Developed by Square Enix, this action-adventure game has you playing as Rico Rodriguez, a skilled agent tasked with overthrowing the oppressive government of Solis and uncovering the secrets of a mysterious organization known as the Black Hand. But when you're not busy doing any of all that important stuff, you can just simply admire the beauty of the world around you. Speaking of which, the game features a vast open world that is just fully destructible, allowing players to wreak havoc and create chaos using a wide range of weapons, vehicles, and high-tech gadgets. Of course, a legendary list like this has to include Skyrim, which is by far one of the most popular open-world RPGs to ever exist, and for all the good reasons. It's been beloved, including myself, for its vast open world and diverse characters, engaging lores, and extensive mod community, and a lot more. Skyrim gives you all the freedom in the world to create your own path and develop your own personality and do things at your own pace. You can explore the rich and detailed fantasy realm, you can make friends and learn new skills and abilities, and a lot more. It's really the abundance of choices that makes Skyrim really stand out from the rest of the open world games. It could be a little daunting for beginners, but if you're up for the challenge, Skyrim's definitely a game for you. So DayZ is a survival game that is honestly starting to kind of stand the test of time. The game offers a challenging and immersive survival experience in a large open world, but it also has a steep learning curve that can be quite punishing for beginners. But the game's emphasis on player interaction and its focus on realism and survival mechanics really make a rewarding experience for those who can enjoy this hardcore gameplay. Death is permanent in this post-Soviet world, with players having to start with really nothing but memories of the past. It's a brutal world, but one that makes your heart pump with excitement and thrill as you bash the head of these flesh-eating monstrosities, and at the same time, you hope that your interactions with other players don't ultimately lead to your death, as there's constant threats from all angles and coming completely out of nowhere. So post-apocalyptic games go hand in hand with chaos, and if that's your alley, Sunset Overdrive's a must-play. Developed by Insomniac Games, this action-adventure title leaves you unshackled in a vast open world full of mutants, set in a post-apocalyptic open world called Sunset City. The game has you playing as a customizable character who you must parkour your way through the city with, armed with an arsenal of weapons and abilities, and you'll soon quickly realize that you're going to stop being the hunted and being the hunter. The combat in this game is so over the top, you're going to be laughing between all the chaos, and the game's unique style has a vibrant set of colors and some irreverent humor. It's what really makes this one a fun one to play, and it deserves a place on this list. So Slime Rancher 2 is the much awaited sequel to the 2016 Slime Rancher game, and here you play as Beatrix LeBeau as she journeys to Rainbow Island, a mysterious land brimming with ancient technology and unknown natural resources and an avalanche of wiggling and jiggling new slimes to discover. It's a first-person life simulation adventure game where you explore a gorgeous island with unique biomes, and you collect slimes and you build a ranch to house them. The game features thrilling combat with gooey guns and slimy explosions, and Slime Rancher 2 has already received a ton of positive reviews since its early release this year from both players and critics, many praising the game's visuals and the gameplay and the sense of humor. And if that's something you're really looking for, maybe a little bit more of a casual time, definitely give Slime Rancher 2 a shot. The game Astroneer is a low-poly stylized open world game where you assume the role of an astroneer, tasked to explore the unknown depths of outer space and uncover the mysteries of this massive universe. With 7 unique planets, each with their own unique biomes and environments, the game lets you salvage resources and build life on treacherous outer worlds. Now, as you progress through this space sandbox adventure, you're going to meet a colorful cast of characters, and you're going to work with them as a crew and dive even deeper into the planets using powerful excavation vehicles. Astroneer gives you a complete freedom to explore the solar system, and if you're a big fan of sci-fi titles and you can't get enough space exploration, this is a great one to add to your must-play list. As we're on the topic of space exploration, I can't help but think of the game Outer Wilds. This is a game that's not only won the hearts of millions of gamers, but it's also won a ton of awards and Game of the Year back in 2019. Outer Wilds is an open-world space mystery game that takes you on an adventure trapped in time. Playing as a new recruit, the game tasks you to find answers to the existence of the universe by exploring the constantly evolving solar system trapped in this endless time loop. Outer Wilds features an intricate set of puzzles, tricky yet super rewarding exploration, and a phenomenal soundtrack that keeps you immersed like nothing else, and it's really a story-rich title that's going to keep you hooked for at least about 20 hours of gameplay. Over the years, Fallout 4 is a game that's really come into its own, bringing the open world post-apocalyptic gameplay to your door, mixed with an insane amount of story and quest and dialogue to experience. This now classic game many years later stands the test of time with tons of DLC to dive into, tons of story content, and a huge post-apocalyptic world you can explore. This has been one of my favorite franchises of the last decade. Scratch that, it's actually been my very favorite, and there's never been a better time to jump into this one in anticipation for a future potential exclusive Fallout Xbox title. There's hundreds of hours to get into with this one, tons of stories to follow, and if you haven't dived into Fallout 4, do yourself a huge favor, get in there and enjoy an amazing game. LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga is for all the Star Wars fans out there, including myself. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd who are really looking for a thrilling open world adventure in a familiar universe with familiar faces. LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga is an exciting action-adventure game that covers the main 9 Star Wars movies, offering players a chance to really experience the iconic moments from the series. The game offers a unique set of story missions, an exciting open world exploration, and it provides a diverse and engaging gameplay experience. If you're not a big fan of Star Wars, that's cool, but if you are, get in there and play through some of the most key moments from the movies and battles, and you're going to enjoy it in a lighthearted and humorous way with the LEGO lens. It's got an overwhelmingly set of positive reviews from players and critics, and the game definitely deserves a place on this list, and maybe one of the top games period on this list. So Rage 2 got pushed under the rug when it released back in 2019 due to its not so enticing open world exploration mechanics, but it has since received some awesome updates and additions that really make it worth your while. Set in a post-apocalyptic world, Rage 2 puts you in the shoes of Walker, the last ranger in a wasteland devastated by an asteroid impact. The game combines first-person shooting mechanics with open-world exploration, and players have access to a wide range of weapons and abilities and vehicles, allowing for fast-paced combat and dynamic encounters. The game encourages aggressive and acrobatic combat, with players utilizing powerful weapons and special abilities and vehicular combat to really fight against a tyrannical authority and its leader, General Cross. And last but not least, we have Halo Infinite. This is one of the most popular gaming franchises in the world, one of my favorites since I was just a kid. Infinite is the latest and greatest addition to the long-running series, and it takes you back to the roots of the franchise to experience the classic Halo gameplay that we've really all come to love. The game seamlessly combines its captivating single-player campaign with an exhilarating multiplayer experience, delivering really an all-encompassing package that really exceeds expectations. While the open-world adventure may seem familiar at first glance, it cleverly presents a plethora of unique gameplay opportunities and showcases an awe-inspiring set of pieces that's gonna leave you wanting more. And if we talk about multiplayer, Halo Infinite definitely evokes the nostalgic glory days of Halo 3 and rekindling that sense of camaraderie and excitement that really made the franchise legendary in the first place. So yeah, if you're looking for a memorable open world adventure, Halo Infinite might just be the absolute best option for you. And if you're looking for even more games than what's on this list, check out the best Game Pass games you can play today on the screen.